feel a daughter of God and true parents and as your sister and as a representative of District 6. And I want to tell you, we received so much love and guidance from our Continental Director, Bishop Kim, and our HSA President, Dr. Michael Balcom, and our HSA Vice President and President of our National Council, Mari Curry, and the 11 other members of the National Council that I sit on. So there's a lot of material I can share, but I'm going to share most of it at our community meeting. And I'm also going to be traveling to the different cities, hopefully the whole district, but I'm definitely starting in North Carolina. And I would also like to visit your homes, because I haven't seen all of you in a long time, and I'd like to touch your hearts with what I have received from my meeting in Las Vegas. And I want to tell you that there's a lot of information, but the main thing is God is definitely alive, and He is definitely working in our lives. And I just want to share with you, without any of my own opinions, exactly what I did in Las Vegas and why it was so incredible. The very, very first meeting that we had, we arrived, I flew into Las Vegas, and I was picked up by a church member, and I went to the IPEC Center, the International Peace Education Center. I thought I walked into heaven. It's just the most gorgeous, white, beautiful building. 48 rooms. There's a room there for true parents. And when IPEC was first opened, the first thing Mother did was go shopping for True Father's clothing, a suit and shoes and all the clothes, because he never saw IPEC finished. And so he went and she put those clothes in True Father's closet in their room and said, Father, you know, everything is here waiting for you. So that's the heart of a true mother. And so when we arrived, all the members were flying in, getting picked up and brought to IPEC. And we were told to meet downstairs in the lobby at 5:45. We're driving to True Parents' home for dinner. I was like, wow, because I didn't know where we were going to go for our dinner. And we arrived, and the first thing that we did was we went to True Parents' home, and we went to the, there's actually photos on there, and I don't know how to do all that, but I'll show you the photo later when we're done of True Parents' home. We walked in, and we all gathered in the prayer room, and we offered a full count bed to True Parents chairs, and then we, Dr. Balcom offered a beautiful prayer, and then we all did unison prayer. And then we were told that this house that we were standing in was the house that True Father spent the last 3 years of his life. And it's where he prepared his last sermon. And we saw the room where True Father sat for many hours and talked to our members. And in March 2013, Dr. Michael Balcom and his team, Mari Curry, Mihan Stevens, were asked to become part of the executive team. And they were called to True Parents' home there in Las Vegas, in that room. And True Mother was there, and she was eating, and they all sat in front of her, and she asked them several questions. And the first question she asked Dr. Balcom and Mari and Mihan was, did you witness? And they all said, yes. The second question True Mother asked them is, did you bring a guest? And thankfully, they all said yes. And then the third thing that she said after a long pause was, all is prepared, and all you need to do is go out and take action. You are pure water. Did you know that the Hoover Dam is a miracle? Did you know God created the Hoover Dam? But God needed our hands to build it. So be the voice of God, be the email for God, be the text for God, be the legs for God. Just take action, all is prepared. We also heard a beautiful story. A True Father gave some of the members money to go gamble in the casinos. And he said, don't worry if you lose, because the money that you lose will eventually be someone else's gain. Here in Las Vegas, everything you do will result in goodness if you live according to God's principles. Your dreams will come true if it is centered on God. And how do you make your dreams come true? Is you live with the heart of a filial son and daughter. Afterwards, after that short gathering there, while we were there, Bishop Kim arrived while Mari was giving her testimony about what True Mother had said to her. And Dr. Bishop Kim says that True Mother has touched on all major points and had been making everything happen the past 3 years. And the real hope is still in America. She gets inspired when she sees the youth rising up, especially from America. When True Mother gave the inaugural address to the World Women's Federation for Peace, True Mother came into public light on the worldwide level. It was shortly after that event on July 2nd, 1995, that True Father proclaimed the both of them the true parents of mankind. Semin-Annual, Hakjahan Moon, the true parents of mankind. And he did it again at the Little Angels event. There in that Las Vegas house, in True Father's very last days, True Mother and True Father held hands, and they prayed that they will stay united, no matter what, not even if Satan tried to tear them apart. They prayed that nothing would split them. We went then, we walked in, we left that beautiful home, and we went just to the backyard, but I'll show you a picture of the Las Vegas Sanctuary Church. That's the Las Vegas church where they hold, this is our sanctuary, this is where they held their sanctuary. And we went into a beautiful, humble building, and there was, over here on the side, a beautiful, beautiful Korean buffet table. I hadn't had Korean food in so long. I was so excited. And I piled up my plate, and we sat on these, fold-up tables, and we ate. And then he said, afterwards, we're all going to sit in a circle, and we're going to share bright spots. Bright spots could be from our own district, or from us personally. I want to share 2 bright spots that really hit everybody very strongly. Dr. Bishop Kim said that when he toured the country, he met an 8-year-old girl who had a question. She said, I went to the One Heart Camp in Los Angeles. And she said, I finally understand what my parents' church is all about. I feel like I'm a member now. She said, but when I left there, I lost all my power. And now I'm back in my community and I don't feel that power anymore. How do I keep my power? And she said, in my whole life, I would really like to be able to do that. And you know what Dr. Bishop Kim said? Give and take action. When you're at workshop, you have constant give and take action. So when you come back, you should try to have constant give and take action with your brothers and sisters and with God. That's how you keep your power. The second thing is Libby Henkin. She's our representative from District 1. And her bright spot really touched everybody. It was a report about their pastor named Pastor James. And we learned that Pastor James had been struggling for the last 3 years to grow his church. But he was on fire. And Dr. Balcom asked, how did he get his fire? And she said, he prayed every day at the Holy Ground. And he constantly gives credit to the members and everyone else. But the members say it's actually him inspiring everybody, witnessing side by side with the members. The council members each are responsible for an area, in-reach, outreach, etc. They bring 15 new guests every week to their church. There are 9 people going through a program, all leading up to the blessing. There are 8 more people who are in the beginning stages of the program. Now I'd like to share Dr. Balcom's comments to us the following morning.
If you would like to go to our agenda, I want to show you how incredible it was. So we had a prayer and dinner at True Parents' home. We offered full vow, and we heard about how True Father spent the last years of his life there. We met at 6 a.m. each morning for Hundukwe, which was wonderful, truly wonderful. Mari had prepared printouts for us from the Chansangyang. And then we had welcoming remarks by Dr. Kim, and we had district reports, which I was required to submit prior to going to Las Vegas, and I spent a lot of time preparing that. And then we gave brief oral reports. And Dr. Balcom read every one of the reports, and he really, really digested them. And we found 3 main challenge themes from all 12 district reports. You'll hear about that at a community meeting. Dr. Balcom's remarks, that's where I'd like to start here, is the district reports were detailed and appreciated. You know, when True Mother had called him to Korea, he was surprised. She chose him, someone with no experience, not even pastoral experience. But she gave 2 simple points of guidance. 1, make True Parents guidance your mission work. The subtext is missing. What we need to do is address this head-on as a filial son and daughter. You know what a filial son and daughter does? Dr. Balcom asked us. It's the son or daughter who takes their parents' most difficult challenge, willingly and joyfully solves their problem. That's the heart of a filial son and daughter. Most problems need to be solved in relationships. And number 2, encourage and inspire the younger brothers and sisters, including our younger and brother-sister nations, and give them hope. I'd like to now go into more of the meat of our meeting. And, you know, we have been a welfare child of Japan. $35 million have been coming to the United States from Japan. Did you know that? Every year, supporting our mission work. Mostly coming from Japanese women with a very great cost. Previous presidents were aware of this. 2/3 of that money was supporting the Washington Times. $4 million a year was supporting East Garden and staff. And our national Love and Life broadcasts cost $100,000 each. And our American church didn't pay for any of it. Thank you, Japan. District pastors, some, were receiving support too. So Dr. Balcom's mission was, this has to stop. Japan, as of the beginning of this year, is no longer sending any money. Yet the Washington Times is doing better than ever. Made a small profit last month for the first time, as opposed to losing $2 million per month. These are big changes. How did the Washington Times do it? They ran it with less people. They ran it lean, just like headquarters is now running lean, and they increased their revenue. Also, True Mother tasked Reverend Balcom and Dr. Kim to take care of the East Garden and Belvedere brothers and sisters. So we paid severance package to those people to help them along their way. And that all came from America. So we ended our dependency on Japan. We even paid $1 million to the Sunghak Peace Prize, which True Mother has as her flagship. Our resources largely now come from the businesses that True Father started. I think that was great news. We want our resources to support the world. $120,000 to the World Mission Center for the last 36 months. That's what we've done. As it should, more money should be going to support the world than is coming in. We are the elder brother nation, aren't we? So we tightened our belts at headquarters as part of a strategy. Around 2013, Dr. Balcom shared, around the time of creating the national charter, True Mother was working on a Chanil-Guk constitution. So effort was made to get this Constitution done. There were several organs, the Supreme Council of 13 people, and she was careful that no matter who was president, he or she could not act without some kind of check and balance, and a minimum of 3 people were needed for any decision. Hoping for the president, Semin-Annual, would return, she waited a year for him. And when he did not, Semin-Annual was appointed. Our Supreme Council meets 3 times per year, in contrast with the General Assembly of the United Nations with 210 members. You know, the HSA board is our governing board in America. And I will show you a slide, perhaps we can move forward. Do you know who the members of our HSA board are in America? Okay, well, we asked Dr. Balcom too, so if you kind of come down a little bit, keep going. There we are. We have Bishop Kim as our chairperson, Dr. Michael Balcom, who can be reached at any time at president@unification.org. Alexa Ward, Farley Jones, Hugh Spurgeon, Dr. Yang, Peter Kim, Michael Jenkins, and we have as a secretary, Kay Allen, who's a non-voting member, and attorney Bill Lay, who serves as an attorney on the board, also a non-voting member. That's our board of directors for our HSA in USA. That's good to know, right? And by the way, the last thing Dr. Balcom said to me as I was leaving was, I really would love to see North Carolina again. You can invite me, you know. He said that he visits a different community every Sunday in the United States. He travels that much. But he said, I will always come if any community invites me, or my staff. So that is really, really wonderful. I have a long report, but I just want to keep this short and to the point. In our community meeting, I will share a lot more. Can we go to the slide on tithing? This is something that I thought was really elucidating for me. I always wanted to know where my offering was going. There's a slide on tithing. So types of tithing. We have our local tithe here, and it's usually about 10% goes up to district, and then district tithes another 10% up to national. So in essence, your tithe, about 1% goes to national. And by the way, Seattle on its own decided to tithe 10% to national directly. And 2 districts do not tithe to national at all. That's their choice. The national, did you know there's also a national tithe? True Father set up a fund, and the suggested amount was $40 to $210. That tithe still exists, but that is not to take the place of your local tithe. That is in addition to. So the national tithe is subsidiary to the local tithe, meaning it's underneath. The third tithe this past year, was the IPEC tithe, where we raised $3.3 million, $2.8 million, which came from the donations of blessed families. And I can tell you exactly how much each district contributed in another slide I'll show you. And then we also have the Foundation Day tithe and the Samoa Ceremony tithe. These are pass-through tithes. Do you know what that means? You send it up to national, and national sends it directly to the international headquarters. They don't take 1 penny. It's a pass-through, and it goes directly to True Mother. Okay, and then, if you could go to the slide on the subcommittees, please. There. So, the National Council members immediately, on the first meeting of the year in April, is asked to serve on 2 subcommittees. I'm the vice chairperson, and so I serve on the executive subcommittee, and I also serve on the judicial subcommittee. In our meeting, we were also asked to give reports of each of our committees. We spent the last several hours of our time in Las Vegas giving reports and voting on recommendations. Now, the very end of a very important thing is all the National Council representatives were asked to ask the district pastors, please ask your communities, do you have any questions for Dr. Balcom directly? Because we would like to ask them directly at the meeting. Many questions were asked to Dr. Balcom, and several one thing I would like to show. Someone in the field said, Dr. Balcom, what does 2020 vision look like? And he said, we need to study the divine principle much more. The general introduction makes promises, which we should get back to. The national blessing movement has begun. Even True Father started with 3 couples. The loss of the parent-child relationship is where all issues begin. We have a vision of 500,000 members by 2020. New members will not be sent to us unless we take care of our current members. We should reach out to those who left, have them read the new scriptures or the 8 old ones, have those people enter into a living relationship with the Word. We have a 4-to-1 ratio of former members to current members. Do you understand? For every member sitting here, there are 4 members who have decided not to come anymore. I want to mention that True Mother said everything's been done for us. We just need to take action and do not worry about the result. God will take care of the result. There might be a member out there that you know of that's been waiting and waiting for your phone call. Basic human touch works. So, if we could, may we please just, I want to make sure I covered all my slides. The Sunday service, we could go back, please, to the Sunday service slide. Thank you. We went to the service in Las Vegas where the district pastor, Mr. Kim, was our master of ceremonies, and we heard a sermon, which, by the way, is on the Family Fed site. Really inspiring sermon. And the title of the sermon is Look Ahead. And 3 steps to a miracle in your life are look forward, see things as God sees them, and just do it. The number one thing I'd like to just mention again from what I said at the beginning is God's love is alive. True parents have laid a foundation. We just need to take action and let God take care of the rest.
Amen.
So now I'd like to just maybe perhaps go to the last slide. Is again our mission statement, where the world leaders got together for a conference. The national leaders got together, and they came up with that mission statement that Dr. Belka mentioned in his video, Guide America Back to God Through the Teachings and Marriage Blessing of True Parents. That's our mission statement for the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, USA. So as your sister, as a daughter of God, and as their District 6 representative, I wanted to just mention again that the love of God through True Parents is very, very strong, and we should continue to love one another and reach out. And through that, God can work. Now I'd like to just show you a few pictures, which I can go down and